walk past the last billboard, where the city lights thin into single shy lamps. The ground forgets how to be concrete and turns back into dust. Every grain a tiny unsent message rolling under my shoes. The air smells of metal and salt, and the towers behind me flicker like uncertain lighthouses, their windows blinking irregular codes into the widening dark. Someone has dragged old speakers into this empty lot, their broken plastic shells half buried in sand, wires like dry roots curling toward nothing. When the first kick lands, it does not sound. It sounds like a hollow heel striking packed earth. The second arrives, crooked shoulder checking the air, and then the hand drums wake, layered claps and palms, weaving polyrhythms that shake loose forgotten shapes in my hips. The synths do not soar here, they hover low, buzzing like insects skimming along shallow river notes, bending around sunburned stones and modes older than the road behind us. My voice cracks once, then smooths into a narrow ribbon of tone, threading through the restless percussion, telling a story I have not lived but somehow remember, about caravans of speakers tied to dusty trucks, about late summer gatherings where the electricity came from, improvised cables and the power of 30 singing throats. The chorus rises like heat off asphalt, visible but barely held, trembling above our heads in shimmering vertical waves. And every time the beat drops to near silence, the night leans in curious, pressing its cool ear against our small circle of light. The stars overhead keep their own uneven meter, scattering offbeat glints across the sand, and between each signal, between each pulse of synthesized thunder, wooden drum, a small hush opens, an invitation to breathe all the way out before the next wave hits.
There is a storm that never reaches the surface, a quiet static living 3 millimeters under my skin, pacing the length of my arms like a restless cat. Every time you say my name, it changes key, sliding into darker modes, sharps and flats pressed like fingerprints along my spine. The room itself leans in closer, walls tilting by a secret degree, swallowing stray reflections from the glass. I watch the ceiling fan spin its thin blaze of shadow, chopping the light into rhythmic fragments that land on your face. Small eclipses moving across your cheeks in perfect time with the low throb of the sub. Somewhere a hi-hat skips a scheduled entrance, arriving early then without apology. That tiny rebellion opens a doorway in the pattern and I fall through, dropping into a slower river under the beat we thought we knew. Hear the drums of bone stacked in careful polyrhythms, hollow and wooden and whispering of distant fires. Hear the scent of long metal sighs, bending around invisible corners, brushing against my ribs like passing trains in a narrow tunnel. Your hand hovers above mine, not touching but already changing the voltage. The charge gathering at each fingertip like a held-back confession. The chorus arrives not with volume but with pressure, the air thickening until every inhale tastes like copper and rain. We stand still in the center while the melody orbits planets of broken chords, pulling at our clothes, tides in miniature. And when the bridge finally strips the drums away, the absence booms louder than any kick, leaving only a thin. The defiant signal pulsing once, twice, 3 times in the dark. A stubborn little beacon, proving the storm is real, even when no one else can feel it.
The alley behind the club is where the real tempo lives. Kick bottle caps, rolling in 16th notes along cracked concrete, dripping fire escapes, clicking in nervous triplets. Somewhere above us a faulty neon sign argues with the darkness in frantic stutters, casting jumpy pink grids across puddles that keep their own uneasy time. Inside the walls, the main room beats slam. It's a steady fall, but out here everything leans, syncopated by chance and gravity. I clap my hands once, and the echo comes back. That crooked bouncing off brick and metal at slightly different delays. Natural delay, plugged and tuned by rust and distance. It makes my palms itch to join in properly, to layer intentional rhythm over this accidental orchestra. So I stump my heel on the manhole cover, and it rings like a deep thin kick. The dumpsters answer with hollow backbeat thuds. A whole drum kit assembled from neglect. The synth line I hum over it walks a strange path, stepping through modal turns that feel like sights. You only take when you are late, but I'm bothered. My voice lowers to keep from waking the upper floors, wrapping each note in breath, words hanging like cigarette smoke under the single buzzing lamp. I sing about messages left on, about shared taxis home that end 2 blocks early, about the tiny negotiations our bodies make with rhythm, pretending not to dance. The chorus finally lands when the back door bursts open, spilling bass and chatter into the alley. For a few bars, the inside track and my makeshift groove align 2 hearts beating briefly in phase. Then the door swings shut again and my smaller rhythm persists, stubborn and grinning, printed now in the souls of everyone who walked through without noticing. By the time the sky remembers its lighter colors, my ears are still full of last night. Echoes of crowded rooms and crowded thoughts, a collage of kicks and laughter, taped to the inside of my skull. Yet the street around me is almost empty, the traffic reduced to a slow, considerate trickle, each car a low passing chord in a gentle key. The city has turned its volume knocked down, but not all the way, leaving a soft bed of hum for new rhythms to grow from. My steps fall into a lazy pattern on the pavement, toes and heels sketching a quiet syncopation that feels like forgiveness. Birds at their uncertain high notes,
trying out phrases over and over until they almost resemble hooks. Somewhere a distant construction site offers metallic accents, polite for now, tapping steel like restraint. Symbols, I pull my hood tighter and let a small synth motif loop in my mind. A simple modal figure circling the same few notes from different angles, refusing dramatic leaps, content to glow rather than burn. My voice when it arrives is rough but calm, singing under my breath about nights we thought would never end and mornings we feared would come too soon. About the wave and the loudest memories eventually fade to a tender murmur at the edge of sleep. The chorus does not chase climax, it settles like light on kitchen tiles. A soft resolution where the bass is more felt than heard, where the snare brushes instead of strikes. Hand percussion sticking like an easy heartbeat. You'll longer have to monitor. In the final minute the drums thin out, leaving just a steady pulse and long comforting chords. And as the last note hangs over the waking street, it feels less like silence after noise and more like a promise that the next wave, whenever it comes, will find us ready to dance again. The room disappears long before I close my eyes, swallowed by a slow tide of tones rising from the monitors. Low frequencies rolling in like fog across an empty field, higher ones hanging above me in thin silver threads, a loose canopy of sound that trembles with every small movement. I stand very still in the center, a pin pushed through the fabric of this invisible tent, and listen to the way the chords lean into each other. Modal colors bruising at the edges where they overlap. The beat enters not with a kick, but with a shiver, a brush pattern on distant hand drums. Ghostly palms striking cured skin, weaving a lattice of syncopation under my feet. Only later does the main drum arrive, a dry, focused thump that lands like a thumb, pressed gently against a racing pulse. Never fully slamming, just reminding the heart it is being watched. My vocal blurs into reverb almost as soon as it leaves my mouth, each word trailing a long translucent twin that lingers in the high corners of the mix. Lyrics more suggestion than declaration, half phrases about curtains drawn against afternoon glare,
about voices heard through walls at frequencies too muffled for meaning, yet somehow rich with intention. The chorus is less a hook than a thinning of the veil, filters opening just enough to reveal a bright wavering synth line that had been hiding all along under the noise. Its notes stepping carefully through unfamiliar scales like a visitor, removing shoes at the door. In the breakdown, everything but a single shake of pattern, and one held pad dissolves, leaving vast negative space that rings louder than any stack of sounds. And when the full groove returns, it does so with the weight of something both fragile and precise, a finely woven fabric you hesitate to touch, yet cannot stop running your fingers across. Morning slams the door shut, and the train pulls sound straight through my chest. Steel wheels drumming triplets against the tracks, an impatient rhythm that refuses square corners. The carriage is a thin metal lung, filling and emptying with strangers. Each footstep on the floor, a soft unsynchronized kick. Overhead the fluorescent lights flicker in their own uneven meter, casting stuttering halos on hanging hands. My headphones leak tint into this rattling tunnel, bright stabs darting between poles and advertisements. Modal run sketching graffiti across through windows. Where our reflections double and blur, the official announcement voice arrives late, chopped by the speakers into accidental syncopation, fractured syllables landing just off the beat in a way no producer could ever program on purpose. I tap patterns on the cold rail, letting my fingers converse with the vibrations underfoot, imagining invisible congas and jimbas driving the whole train forward. Ancient rhythms wearing a coat of industrial noise. My thoughts begin rhyme with the conductor's brakes, long drawn out squeals that bend like pitch wheels into uneasy resolutions. I mouth half-finished lyrics against the glass, watching my breath ride and erase itself in a fog of temporary vowels. The chorus forms as we burst from tunnel to daylight. Sudden white flood in the carriage, every face briefly overexposed like a strobe lit crowd. The sense in my ears open wide, side chain swells, breathing around a four on the floor that keeps losing count and catching up again by the second verse. The line between inside and outside, music collapses, door chimes become clinky percussion, ticket machines add their beeping egregios. And when I finally step onto the platform, the groove follows, echoing down tired walls, a portable city of rhythm, walking quietly in my shoes.
The radio between stations fills the room with soft snow. A gray river of tiny collisions, and somewhere in that drifting static, I swear I hear your laugh stretched thin and folded back on itself, hiding between distant transmissions. I dim the lights until only the equipment glows. Small islands of red and green, blinking like cautious lanterns along the shore of a sleeping city. The tempo I choose is slower than habit. A heartbeat taking its time to remember each chamber. Kick drums spaced far enough apart to walk between. Their echoes overlapping in lazy arcs. The snare answers not on 2 and 4, but on the shadows of those numbers. Syncopated ghosts brushing the edges of the grid. My 6 arrive as long sighs of color, deep blues and rusted golds, bending through modal turns that feel like alleys I once ran down in rain. The melody barely raises its voice, content to hover just above the hiss. My own vocal sits close to the microphone lips, almost touching metal, every consonant softened into breath. I sing of small lights held in unsteady hands, of phone screens cupped like candles under blankets, of faces illuminated from below by windows full of distant storms. The chorus is not a shout but a widening chords, opening sideways to make space for harmonies that sound like neighboring apartments, humming different songs in compatible keys, out of time with one another, yet miraculously aligned on every 4th bar. In the bridge the drums fall away, leaving only a thin pattern of hand. Percussion tapping like curious fingers on frosted glass, asking if anyone is still awake. And when the beat returns, it does so with a new patience, content to carry these quiet lanterns through the long tunnel of the night, without once demanding that the darkness answer back. It starts so small, I almost miss it. A single offbeat clap tucked shyly between the kicks, like a secret handshake, passed in a crowded hallway. Then a thin synth line curls up from the floor, climbing the scale in cautious steps, its notes choosing strange neighbors. Modes that taste like late afternoon and unresolved questions. I sit cross-legged in the center of my room, cables coiled around me like lazy snakes, watching the pattern tiptoe into existence. Every new sound asking permission before it stays. The bass enters sideways, a soft but insistent knock against the underside of my ribs. Not loud, just unavoidable. The hi-hats begin to argue with the grid, refusing perfect division, slipping into syncopations that make my shoulders flinch, and then relax into a sharper sway. My voice joins last, almost an afterthought, a low thread of vowels sliding between consonants like water finding cracks in stone. I do not sing about fire or crowds or breaking glass. I sing about a breath held 1 second too long, about glances traded under fluorescent ceiling, about decisions that feel like glue or step. The chorus does not explode. The bloom's petals of harmony unfolding around a single stubborn phrase that keeps leaning on the offbeat, a gentle insistence that we do not have to march in straight lines to move together. With each repetition, the drums add another layer, hand percussion whispering rebellion in a language of skin and wood, until the room itself seems to sway on a hidden axis, pictures tilting on their hooks like fixtures, nodding in time. And by the final bridge, the quiet has become its own kind of thunder, a low collective, yes, vibrating in the floorboards, visible only in the way our breathing has synced without anyone agreeing out loud.
The room glows faint blue, a low ceiling of LEDs, breathing like an animal in sleep. And every cable on the floor is a small river of intention, humming under rubber skin. I sit with my hands above the pads, not touching yet feeling the grid anticipate me. Little squares of sudden sunrise, waiting beneath plastic. The temp already walking in circles around my ribs, tapping on each bone for resonance. I exhale and the machines exhale back. Fans whirring a quiet chorus, power supplies ticking like distant wood blocks, counting invisible dancers in a parallel room. When I finally strike the first note, it lands off center, stubborn, syncopated against the click. The second falls between beats and the third refused to stay in key, drifting towards some ancient mode that tastes like dust and iron. The pattern grows sideways, not forward, refusing straight lines, clapping against its own echo, turning every empty space into percussion. My voice slips in as a rumor under the sims, more breath and tone, tracing outlines of syllables that never quite become commands. I ask the circuit to stay with me through the drop, to hold its tiny lightning a little longer before surrendering to silence. And it answers with a flicker, a brief dimming like a blink in the heart of the grid. Together we stack chords like overlapping shadows on a concrete wall, tall and narrow and slightly crooked. The kick drum carves tunnels through them, the snare throws sparks at the ceiling, and somewhere behind it all a small stubborn click keeps hopping over the downbeat. An inside joke between voltage and skin that no one
like a slow electric tide. And I walk inside its breathing corridors, counting every window as a tired little star, listening for the rumor under traffic, the quiet pulse beneath the bass of passing cars, the secret pattern in the crosswalk lights where red and green trade places like shy conspirators in love. My footsteps fall off the grid, then slide back late, syncopate against the wet pavement. Your voice arriving half a beat behind my thoughts, a low vibration in the hollow of my chest. I hear you say, stay without using the word. A soft current bending around my spine, every billboard flicker turns to distant melody, every siren finds a modal path through minor streets, weaving through smoke from food stalls, and the ghost of rain that never quite falls. I taste the echo of conversations left unfinished on balconies where curtains sway like slow metronomes, marking time for invisible dancers. Somewhere above us the trains carve metallic